This clip is to go over some of the major safety features of the mower. One safety feature is the blades under the deck. You don't want to stick your feet under or close to the deck. Okay, if you're on the mower, then someone comes up to you and wants to talk with you while you're running the mower, make sure you turn the blades off. If you're going up to the mower and someone else is running it, you take your hand, go across your neck to tell them to cut off the blades. The other feature is this muffler. That muffler is extremely hot, even with this protection on it. Okay, it will take your skin off in a heartbeat. It's not like you can go say, oh, that was hot, I better not touch it. No, if you touch it, it'll burn the skin right off you. It's too late. Okay, stay away from the mower. I try to teach my guys to, if you were going around changing the blades on the mower or whatever, or trying to start the mower, do not put your hands over here. Get used to not putting your hands on the mower. Down here is another part of the motor itself, the engine, that also gets hot. This will burn the skin right off you. Stay away from them. This clip is on safety features of the Cub Cadet. Back here is the muffler. This gets very hot, so don't touch it. Even though it's got a protective plate on it, it gets hot enough, it will take the skin right off you. So don't touch that. It's not like you can touch it and say, oops, I better not do that again. You touch it and it's too late. You got third-degree burns on you. For the blades, make sure that no feet are around the blades while they're running. If you are coming up to the machine and someone's operating it, just take your hand and wave it against your neck, and that will tell them to cut off the blades, okay, or cut off the power. Either way works. So if you're on the machine and someone comes up to you, then make sure that you turn off the blades. This decks, don't step on the decks. They're not made to carry our weight. When putting gas in the machine, you unscrew the cap. And one thing I want to point out is if you have an old container like this one is getting old, it's aging, and this is getting weathered. And so the black is turning white, okay? So this means that it's getting brittle. So you don't want to put any weight on this nozzle because it could break. So when we gas it up, just take the nozzle and put it all the way in like that. And there's a handle here. You can hold the weight of the handle. And you can also hold the bottom of the container if it's too heavy to hold at the handle. But you put it all the way in. We don't want to, this is a no-no, we do not want to take the cap off all the way, even though it's faster, because it's a bigger hole and the gas is in there faster. We don't want to do this because it doesn't fit right away, and it doesn't fit over the hole perfectly. And if you spill the gas on the tire, in this particular model, the tire is real close to the gas, you get gas on there and it'll transfer to the turf of your customer and kill the grass. So you want to keep the nozzle on there. Also, even though you think you're very, very careful, don't do it. And another reason is because if it's windy and we got the nozzle off and there's a gap between this container and the gas container of the mower, and that wind will come through there between these two openings and just take the gas out of there and spill it onto your tire. And again, it will kill your customer's grass. So don't be tempted to take the nozzle off. Use the nozzle all the time. This clip is how to start the Skag. This is a 36-inch Skag, what they call a V-Ride. It's a stand-on. You stand on the back of it, right there. So to turn it on, there's a number of series of events. First of all, turn the key to the on position. Make sure the throttle is up. Make sure the gears are in neutral, or it's actually, well, it says neutral, but it's also considered park. Make sure that the deck, or the, not the deck, but the blades, mower blades are off. So push that down. Make sure the brake is on. That is off. Now it's on. Okay, so we have the key on. It's in neutral / park. Deck, the blades are on off. We don't have the choke right now. If it is a cold start, it's a warm day today, but if it's, so probably won't need the choke, but if it's a cold day, you need to pull the choke up, okay? That's not necessary right now, I don't think. Make sure the brake is on, okay? Make sure the deck is up to 4.5. So it's on 4, now we got it at 4.5. Deck's not really that important. Okay, now we're gonna start it. Take the start. What we do is, as a video before, you pull out until you hear it catch. There's 2 small plastic levers in here that go out when you pull it. So pull out, let the plastic levers catch the metal inside, then you pull. That's how you start it. Now, if we have all the series in place, we turned on the ignition, put it in park, put the brake on, put the mower up to high, and if it takes more than 3 pulls, then you probably don't have a good connection, and just go back to the series again. So turn off, turn on, drive, put it back in park, choke, unchoke, deck blades. Something's probably not connected if you pull it 3 times and it doesn't start. Or it might be a cold day or the first thing in the morning and you have to pull the choke. Okay, but if the choke's up and it still don't start 3 times, check to make sure all the connections are properly connected. At that time, if it still don't start, which I can't remember the last time it had not started, then something's wrong with it. This clip is how to operate the SCAG, the V-Ride SCAG, and most, if not all, rider machines operate pretty much the same way that I know of. I only have 2. I had a John Deere rider, I have the SCAG, and I have a Cub Cadet, and they all operate the same way. So this is a handle. This is the kill switch. So you push that in, and that will let you operate the mower. If you let it out, then that's a kill switch, a safety switch, and it will stop the mower completely. It'll stop the engine. If the operator gets hurt, then and he has to let go, then that will stop the engine so no one else gets hurt. You jump on it, and to move forward, you just press both levers forward. To move back, you press both levers back. To move left, you push this lever, the right lever forward, and you can pull the left lever back, but you not necessarily need to. To move right, you just push the left lever forward and it will take it to the right. This video is to show the pattern of the mower. Okay, the rig, there's the rig. We're in front of a property. Over there is the mailbox. We're gonna take off the mower, start the blades mowing at the mailbox. We're gonna come around here and over where Kareem is, we're gonna make a right turn, go up against the fence, and then go around the house and in the backyard. That will be the mowing pattern. clip is about doing your perimeter around the property, and the residential property, around the fence. You go around the fence. This is how close the mower needs to be. With that in mind, you go slow around the perimeter, and then once you do your perimeter and you do in the middle of the property, you go as fast as you need to. This clip is to show you how to get into a back gate that's a little bit tighter than what you may like. The 36-inch can fit through there, 42 cannot, 36 can. Okay, the tip is that you have to put it straight in. You cannot angle it or it won't fit. It has to go straight in. You lift up the flap. That's what this cord here on the chutes are, for to get in the back of the gates. So you lift up the flap, lift up the flap, and then secure it over here someplace. It doesn't matter where, over here. As you can see, it's a narrow fit, but it'll still work. The flap is up, and the mower deck can fit through there. Here's another tip for the mower. When you're mowing around the air conditioner units, you don't want to blow the grass. You want to keep the chute pointing away from it. You don't want to blow the grass in the air conditioner unit because it will clog it up and it'll cause it to overheat or do some kind of damage. In the past, I've had a lot of complaints from the customers, and their air conditioning guy will let the customers know that the grass is being built up in there and it will cause it to overheat, burn up or something, I don't know. So anyway, you want to use this technique. You just go around it as you were doing your perimeter, okay, and then you mow backwards. Come backwards, and then go forward again. This particular case is it's a small space, so go forward again. And as long as you're shooting the grass away from the air conditioner, you'll be fine. This picture is an example of what not to do with the mowers. In this particular case, the associate who's riding the mower was pointing the grass chute towards the driveway instead of away from the driveway. He wasn't doing the proper pattern, and this is the result of such. You got all this grass clippings and dirt and dust blown into the driveway. Not only was it blown into the driveway, but it was blown all over the customer's car. Luckily, we were able to blow it off before the customer came out. Otherwise, we'd have an issue on our hands. Now, what the associate should have done was follow the pattern. Let me get this picture straightened out. Follow the pattern. If the associate would have followed the pattern, you wouldn't have blown dirt on the driveway or on the cars. To follow the pattern, let's say the rig was parked out here. The first pass would be one pass of the mower on the devil strip. Go up to the house. In this particular property, there's no gate to go through on this side. So you have to go around in the inside perimeter of the house. Go on the inside, cross over to the outside, go around the outside, go around the fence, come back out here, make a second pass on the devil strip, shooting the grass towards the house in this case. Coming up here, coming another pass this way, and at this point you can go back and forth of the pattern or go up and down the pattern, either back and forth or front and back is what we call it. You just alternate the pattern. This way, when you make two swipes on the devil strip, if you have to do a third swipe, you can come back this way for the pattern, because usually 99% of the time, unless it's a windy day, if you do two swipes with the mower and you have to do a third swipe coming back, it's not far enough, or it's far enough away so the mower doesn't shoot grass and clippings into the street, so it's less to clean up. All right, for the height of the grass to cut, I only will cut 3 heights of grass. St. Augustine is cut between 4 and 4.5. I use 4 because I'm finding it cuts better at 4. Some customers like it at 4.5. The notes on the Service Autopilot software will tell you what height grass the customer wants it cut at. So we have, then I'll go to 3.5. So it's 3.5, 4, or 4.5. That's the only 3 settings I have. I don't go any lower than 3.5 because over the years I find that there are bumps in the ground, in the turf. So if it's any less than 3.5, you will find those bumps and it will scalp your turf, and then the customer gets upset. And so I don't go any less than 3.5. I had one customer that wanted it less than 3.5, and we parted ways. I won't do it. Not only that, but it'll, you catch that dirt and it'll ruin your blades. So it's just not beneficial for either party. And the reason, now these are at 1/4 inches too, but not all mowers have 1/4 inch. So that's why I don't even tell the customer there's 1/4 inch. Okay, it's 3.5, 4, or 4.5. This clip is an example of why we pick up sticks in the lawns and not run over them with the mower. You see these nicks in the blades? This is what is supposed to be a nice, clean, sharp edge to cut the grass cleanly. And they're all nicked up because they had sticks in the lawn. Here's on the other side. So it takes a lot to grind these out. So that's why we pick up sticks before we cut the grass. I'm going to take a couple shots of a commercial property. During the rainy season, this property floods out in certain spots. There's this other company where those trucks are built up their land like 4 feet above to where it was, and so when it rains, it drains off of that property onto the property that we're doing, and it gets wet. And I wanted to point out, it will dry out. So this is a spot where it got wet. You can see the ruts. And once it's drying out, you go ahead and take the mower across that. Just be careful. Go, out on the edges, like over here. Here's another one, another area. See all that? Oh, this is still wet. All this was wet. Okay, we got stuck in here a couple times. So you see the high grass. So just go from the outside in on the left side of the deck, and then if it gets wet on the wheel, and if you feel that you're going to get stuck or starting to sink, then get out of there. But once it dries out, we want you to go ahead and try to mow it down. Okay. There's another section over here. There's several sections. There's another section here. See, there's still puddles in there, so obviously we can't mow that. But this is now in November, and we're in Orlando, Florida. No, I'm sorry, this is end of October. And we're in Orlando, Florida. I also had a hurricane. Hurricane Ian came in and flooded this place. And so there's some sections down here, but I think you get the point. So once it starts drying out on any commercial property, or any property, once it starts drying out, try to cut the grass. Don't just say, okay, well, it was wet there now, it's probably wet there next week and 2 months later. It's probably not. So try to cut it a little bit at a time, see where we're going. They're paying us to cut the whole thing. So just wanted to point that out. This clip is how to put the mowers into the trailer. I put the cub in first because this is the way it fits better because of the nose over there. You fit the back of the cub against the nose there. See that dark spot? That's where the muffler hits on the cub. So we put the cub in first, and then we put the skag in next. Now while you're putting the cub in, you have to be careful of the Ego push mower over here. So you don't want to crush that because that's just made out of plastic. If you notice over here against the side, I'll even rub on the side of the trailer just to make sure I don't hit the small mower.